Good morning.
Good morning, Cowles County. From the DMZ to the LVC, Longview Country Club, right here.
Oh,
Right here we come to you live from Facebook land or YouTube land, wherever it might be, and we're here for your prodding and pulling and entertaining if need be. We're Lonnie and Brian, hence the LB hour, hence pound hour. So we're gonna try to pound down that hour to a little less than an hour, actually, but we're gonna pound it and make it smaller and smaller, right?
yeah.
We've got some little things to talk about this morning,
Well,
and
I was going to tell you, Sammy Hagar, he had a song called Pound Cake. It was a bit controversial, but it was a good one. Pound Cake by Sammy Hagar.
that's cool. I made a song called Restroom Cake. It didn't taste well to everybody. Apparently, it was kind of or urine cake. It was like, didn't taste too well, didn't do well. But yeah, I don't think the women actually ever get to see a cake.
I don't
Right?
know. I've only
I
been
don't
in a few women's bathrooms. I was in one at Jack Murphy Stadium in San Diego, but it was by accident.
Uh-huh. So they all say, Brian. They all say. I've been in some because I have no idea why. It was just like you end up the girls with usually in the concerts and stuff, the women push you. I mean, the men allow the women to get into these through our restrooms because they have lines for like an hour
Oh, yeah.
in the ladies. But I have had the ladies pull me aside and go, "You guys have a line, we don't. Go to use our bathroom." I'm like, okay, well, obviously doesn't scare me. The only thing, one thing about, I'm gonna say it's a little sexist thing here, which is never good, but the ladies' restrooms in certain places are so nice, and not just so nice, they have a couch inside there to actually, it's a rest room. There's not just men go in there to rest their bladders. Women go in there to rest their legs, their feet, their faces, their whatever, to go do some blow. I don't quite know, but but it seems like they literally have an area inside this nice restaurant. If you go to a theater, if you go to a nice theater somewhere, let's say a play or anything in particular, they're going to have benches and seats and so forth in the bathroom for the ladies, which is super nice. I'm glad they get to do that, but I always think, why in the heck don't the men? Well, I do know, I realized the women have to sit down to breastfeed.
Yeah.
They go to the bathroom to do that. But that's not, I don't think that's why they're there most of the time. It's just kind of like a place for them to hang out and stay, keep away from us. They play keep away.
Yeah. They always say they're going to go powder their nose, which took on a different meaning in the 80s, but they just get away and talk about the dinner they're having or whatever.
Whoa.
Oh, bless you.
Did it again. I hope that wasn't 3D.
The neighbors have fled the area. Your neighbors have run off. They hear a sneeze. People are afraid of sneezes now.
They are afraid of sneezes. I think that COVID, I choked in a restaurant yesterday, day before, right? A little bit. I was like, as Mexican food, it was very spicy, and it had some flavors on it that I wasn't used to, but it went down my throat and was kind of stuck there a little bit. You know what I mean? So then I was choking and coughing every couple of seconds. I felt bad because I know that even though the restaurant was just limited access only, and there were only a few different people in that restaurant, I felt bad about it because the moment that I coughed, even though I was in a screen, and it was like I have a cool screen in between that. And that restaurant, by the way, I refer to is one that you and I have been to, is that Margarita
Factory.
Yeah. And now it's Margarita Factory, but it was the
Guadalajara.
Yeah. So great food there, by the way. Great food and great portions. They have quite large portions. It was not cheap, but it's a nicer place too. So you kind of have to accommodate for that. and they did a great job. But I felt so poorly by just coughing, and then these people going. If you hear it in the restaurant, you'd assume someone somewhere has COVID. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you hear "Coo," it's COVID. I mean, and that brings you to another point. Actually, how many times has people, anybody out there, thought they had COVID and they didn't? Because I am not a hypochondriac, but I will tell you this: if I've accidentally been around somebody and you hear somebody cough or something like that, you assume automatically for a split second, for a couple minutes, I guess, you start thinking, I brought the COVID into my house.
Yeah.
I have now endangered everyone I know because I was somewhere I shouldn't have been. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
I mean, and then you start thinking, do I have a fever? Do I have a fever? Do I have a runny nose? Do I have the symptoms? How many times have you can talk about this, ladies and gentlemen, you can write down a little thing there if you ever had this to you happen, but have you ever thought, how many times have you looked up the symptoms of COVID and thought you might have it,
Yeah.
Because I've been tested for COVID because I was around people who had COVID, and it makes you just wonder, it's like, well, am I gonna get it? And COVID is such a weird thing. It's such a nouveau virus,
Oh yeah.
new virus. So it's like it hits everybody differently. Some people, maybe because I've been blessed in certain things, but some people of different minorities and so forth, they have a tendency to react poorly to the virus more than white. But I think in particular, Caucasian people, I think it's more because honestly, we've been more a little affluent. We're closer to the hospitals. We've done a little better, and historically through everything, I think,
Well, I read that Dave Chappelle got it.
He did, Dave Chappelle, yeah. And well, but I think like not I always want to call him Ben, but that representative, he was the neurosurgeon slash politician. He got it, right?
Oh,
No, he didn't.
Ben Carson got it, but
Ben Carson got it, but the other guy I was thinking,
Herman Cain.
Herman Cain, he got it, and he is richer than all get out,
Yeah.
He was a billionaire, I think, and he died. And then, you'd think that money can buy anything, and then Richard, what's that guy's name from Virgin Mobile?
Oh, Branson.
Yeah, Richard Branson. His mother died of it here a while back. I mean,
yeah,
I think she was 90 years old, so that's okay. Not okay. That's not okay. Not any time is okay.
Well, that's what I say at old people's funeral. He was 90, so this is all okay.
Right. Well, I think in particular, you had a pretty good life around 90.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if I stay until I'm 90, I'm sure that I'll want to stay until I'm 91.
Yeah.
92, 93, 94. But having said, I have friends who died at 7 years old. I have friends who died, throughout my history of my life, and I'm lucky to be here now. I have come close to taking that little extra trip multiple times. So, it's just, I think we're here until we're here, but
yeah,
you
still want to protect older people that
I want to protect everybody I'm around. That's my whole.
Because if they would have lived otherwise, other than COVID, if the COVID was the reason that added to it, we don't want to be that guy that got somebody sick. So
yeah,
but the vaccines are coming. The vaccines are being distributed. So,
well, and any of my friends who know me, they know that I am kind of I like to check on them. I'd make sure that everybody's good. I mean, even if I've seen it for a long time, I look into I check on them. I just got this conversation yesterday with somebody. They're like, "Oh, this and that." I'm like, "Well, I still keep track of people." You know what I mean? I feel like that when I was a kid, not when I was a kid, when I was born, God said you are, you're going to be a shepherd type person where everybody you meet in your whole life is part of your flock now, and then you get it. And if they're going to be part of your life, and if it's your duty to be the sheepdog or the shepherd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Keep track of them. If they're in your flock, and even if they're not in my flock, even if they get away, I've got to kind of pull them back in because that's kind of the way. I want to make sure that they're doing well. I don't just because I contact somebody sometimes doesn't mean that I am like a huge fan of theirs, but they're been in my life for a long time, and I want to check on them. I am a big fan of theirs, but I may have maybe on the outs, but I still want to make sure that they're doing okay. I'm not sure where that little. I'm not trying to control them. I don't want to, actually change them, but it's like somebody in your past, you know what I mean? Like a previous lover or something like that, where you just or friend, where you just like, heck, I want to know where they're at.
Yeah.
Because them being in the world, anywhere in the world, them being in the world gives you peace of mind.
Yeah, that's why I was so happy when Facebook started. When I first got into it, it was about that, finding out how everybody's doing, and it devolved.
It did evolve. Everybody starts sleeping with everybody's exes, and actually,
Well, just the political arguments were too much. The name calling.
well, the political arguments, it seemed like it started in the last 5 years, and it's I don't recall being political on Facebook at all until the last 5 years. And what's that movie, Social Dilemma?
Yeah.
So, folks, if you have not seen that movie, I highly suggest you watch it. It's more educational than anything else, but it's called The Social Dilemma. And at that social dilemma, they talk about every time you say something, it goes in your computer. And anytime you're talking to a friend about one thing, you'll see an ad in it the next time. It's crazy, but it makes your computer literally an echo chamber for your own thoughts. Right?
Yeah.
I think that's it. Because we say these things, and I don't like burnt carrots, and then all of a sudden burnt carrots come up in your feed. Then you'll hear a conspiracy about burnt carrots, and then you'll be like, what the hell? Why did Bugs Bunny have burnt carrots in the first place? I didn't say Bugs Bunny. I said burnt carrots, and it just came up that way. You know what I mean? It's literally a rabbit trail. It's a rabbit hole down the downward spiral, and politics. Actually, since 9/11, politics have been pretty crazy.
Yeah. What I enjoy most about Facebook really is like seeing people's grandkids, their kids, how they're doing, that things are going well for them. I like that.
Yeah. That's I love that too. I do too. I don't befriend anybody on Facebook unless they're actually my friend.
Yeah.
And I have a couple. I'm not trying to be. I don't know. I have many. I'll say many people in the wings that want to become a Facebook request for me. And if I don't know them, I have to research their background and say, it's like an interview for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how do they know me? Why do they want to become my Facebook friend? Because I've always had a younger daughter, and when she was younger, I would never want somebody to be predatory.
Yes.
And to be a predator and looking at our pictures and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I have a tendency to be out in public a lot. So if I post a picture that says, "Hey, I'm at the Mariners game," then all of a sudden that says that, hey, I'm not in my house and it's wide open. Go pillage my stuff, But anyways, I can go sideways from that, but I won't. But for funny stuff, actually, besides we'll get some questions later on, Brian. But I did find something. We did talk about the celebrity death match.
Oh yeah, we even
Yeah.
watched a clip. We watched
We
some.
did. Well, I just found another one I thought would be pretty funny to watch. I have not actually seen it yet, so I thought we could take a moment and view it.
Well, great. I got something for you after that. So let's check yours out. What do you got?
Okay.
Video.
Well, let's see here. Share screen. I will do that. It is dun, 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 dun. My computer has a first name. I don't know what it is. I will find it sometime and let you. Okay. Dun, 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 dun. I
If you
Ma-
I think
ma-
it's okay to show a short clip too, as long as you don't show the whole thing.
good. Are you watching this now?
There's
Mhm.
never been any love lost between Jim Carrey and Mariah Carey. Not since he
Because I
embarrassed her
think
with
this is-
that talking butt chase routine he did at Comic Relief.
Jim
Yeah,
Carrey
that was a
versus
real
Mariah Carey.
showstopper.
That's good.
After that little flare up in the parking lot earlier, well, this one could get really ugly.
All right, I want a good, clean fight. I want a comfortable pair of shoes, and I want a.
I don't know how
nice
she would
hand
fight
set.
against him,
Not
but
too bad. You got that?
he's pretty funny. I love
Let's
him.
get it on.
And here we go.
Whatever.
Jim's using some clever intimidation tactics there.
Ooh.
Okay, well that'll hurt him.
That was good.
All right then.
Jim Carrey with some impressive motor skills.
What the are you doing?
She doesn't hold back.
Devastating Mexican Hurricane Rana. Normally that's a match ender, Nick, but luckily Mariah's thick skull cushioned the blow.
Mariah dear, did you perhaps notice a tiny little mosquito around here? I thought maybe I felt something small landing gently on my chin just now.
Why don't you try that again? Mariah seems fed up with Jim's clowning around, and I think
This claymation is great.
Another miss. User. Mariah's down.
Now that's going to make those brown eyes blue.
All right. Well, don't give too much of
Black
it
and
away.
blue, yeah. That's
I'm the
good.
man of the hour, the tower of power, too sweet to be sour. Thank you. I love you all. Hello, my name's Mariah Carey. I thought I could win a wrestling match against Jim Carrey. Total ass.
Someone get that man a shoehorn.
Where do they come up with this stuff? That is horrible. Good.
Down. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Oh no.
That's it. Jim's locked up Mariah in the legendary sleeper hold.
On three, she's out. 1, 2. This is it. She's not. Let's fight, people.
Dun, 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 dun. They, you know,
But it looks like she has a plan. What a note! Voice on a beautiful lady.
that's funny. She's
Yeah, she can hit those high notes.
yeah, she's definitely yeah.
She's had a rough turn since then. I heard she's actually like a UPS driver and she's not even full time now. So
Do what?
I heard she's driving for UPS now, not even full time. The times are tough for Mariah right now. So hopefully she'll make a comeback.
Well, yeah, I think she might come back. She always does wonders.
That goes the
That's hilarious.
That was spectacular.
I knew her singing had to go in there somehow.
Oh yeah. Well, that was good.
Yeah, no, it was. But so,
From the MTV vault.
oh, here's the.
There
I
you
don't want to
go.
watch it right now, but
Brand new correspondent.
Nicole Richie versus Paris Hilton.
That would be a good one. They have a real feud. So we'll get that one next time, or we just recommend that you go there and watch it.
Yeah, no, we can throw these on here now and again. I think
Yeah.
honestly, without them, if we're not gonna, if we're not trying to monetize this whole thing, we're trying to. Now, remember, folks, if you're watching this, to smash that subscribe button and like it or whatever, like and whatever, however that is. You want
Like and
to
subscribe on YouTube.
pound that button.
There you
Pound
go.
and subscribe. But because it's the pound hour. But what we're trying to do here isn't trying to be your best friends or trying to be like your best show to watch ever. We're trying to learn how to talk back so we can put on a show sometime, get out there and just, basically craft our trade a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, not that's our trade in particular, but kind of. I mean, we like to do it, so why
Well,
not
and
do it?
we
some
want to
better?
improve our enunciation and how we come across in
Absolutely.
public, listening and all that. We're working on some stuff. Before
Yeah.
we get into the questions, you asked me to get some photos together of the studio because it's like people might be confused. What is this?
Yeah, yeah.
So I will try to grab that for you and see how this
Yeah,
goes.
you got a cool little studio over there. It's actually there's two studios really at least out of that whole thing. Of course, well, Brian can make a studio out of your bathroom if you wanted to.
Yeah, we're working on yours right now.
Right? Yeah, I'm changing things around. So
Yeah, give me a second. I'm trying to get this exactly the way I want. Yeah, my goal is to try to set it up before I show it to you. So let's see how I did.
oh, for sure. Yeah, if I could set
Yeah,
things up before the
did.
time, one of the problems I have is that I can't focus and I don't know.
Well, here are some photos of the K-Town studio in Kelso. I was mopping the floor and I took a break. See the footprints? But
Yeah. No, I love this part right here. You've got. Oh, are you serious? No, you made that on purpose.
No, no, those footprints were not intentional. I was mopping and I thought, well, I better get some shots of this.
That's funny. Actually, that's funny. So these are all backgrounds that Brian has set up at his house in his studio thing there.
Yeah, I'll give you another one. I had a slideshow where I just clicked them to the next thing, but it only lets you share one thing at a time. So that's the basic talk show set. We can go back to that for a minute. I wanted to say, Can you see that right now?
Yeah, but we've had in that little area we've had a few different spots, right? I don't see anything now.
Okay.
I see you.
Well, let me check. I'm learning this Zoom stuff.
We all are.
Well, back
Zoom,
to this.
Zoom. Let me hear you say ayo, ayo. Zoom. Let me hear you say ayo.
Now this shot here, you got the silver doors. You come in, and I just moved in the easy chair. So if you're a guest on our show, if we have a talk show and you sit down, you get an easy chair. You can lean
There you
back.
go.
It's almost like a psychiatrist couch. So
There you go.
one of them. I'll get some more shots here in a minute.
Tell me a time when I get you.
Yeah.
Kick back in the easy chair. Yeah. Well, I know somebody else who has another easy chair that's ready to get rid of soon. So, but that's a big one. That's a good one. I like it. Really nice.
Yeah. Now, let me grab another shot here in a second.
Really nice leather one. Yeah.
Yeah. My plan was to just click the arrow and go to each shot, but once you share, it won't let you do anything with the image. So
Really?
I'll make a slideshow next time.
So that's maybe you can do that now. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But I don't know if I can. I can see what folks. We are new at this. We're trying to do things every day, and then eventually, by the time this actually airs, you guys will be it'll be good.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, we made it public now, so you can share this, and we hope you do. So we weren't doing this publicly for a while because we need to learn, and we don't want to be idiots. But so you got something to share there, Mr. Brian?
Yes, I got one here. I wanted to show a lot of people when they think of video, they get kind of excited about projecting an image behind them with the green screen, and we have a good area. We even have a green screen suit. So on and just your head will show. But that's a pretty that's like a 9x13 green screen, and it actually on the bottom it comes out. So your feet, you could stand on the green screen, so it has a floor under you, fake floor. So that's a good setup. I kind of like that.
So the green screen outfit, by the way,
Yes.
what can you do with that?
Well, say you put it on and you want a head floating in space. So you just put the green screen outfit on and only your head is shown and whatever's going on, like out in space behind you, it's just your head. So that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's cool. I haven't seen that one yet. That's funny.
Yeah. Well, we've seen some weird effects out there, you know?
Yeah. Oh, well, they can do anything nowadays. Really, it seems
yeah.
like. you know,
Oh, yeah,
they can-
definitely.
Well, especially now with the web that I have a app on my phone. I just started doing the app with the face swap.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. You did one that it was Anthony Hopkins and he kind of looked like my older brother. It was kind of interesting.
Well, and that's I can take your face and put it on that. And yeah, that's nuts.
Yeah. Oh,
Thank
here's a shot right here, and this is the black door there leads to something else, and I'll show you in a minute. But say you want to record a little audio, we got the little sound things on the wall. The
Oh, I've done. Yeah,
padding.
I've done some stuff in front of that black studio or one that black wall there. Matter of fact, that's the beginning of the LOL stuff. You know.
Yeah, that got you going and using the whiteboard and all that.
Yeah, and then that whole Lonnie Logic online. So
Oh
and
yeah.
I'm not done. I'm nowhere near being done with that. So we'll get back to that. But
Well, here's one that you'll like. It shows this one shows the perspective. It's pretty far out from one wall to that curtain is about 25 feet. So you can get long shots, you can have tracking shots, and then you got singers in there. People can sing. So that's kind of cool. Little
that's in the
character.
other part. That's the other part of the studio. That's right.
Yeah.
That door's open now.
Yeah,
You've
open
got
the
the other.
door.
You're looking into the other studio, folks. It's pretty. It's cool. And that studio there, you've got band equipment and
Oh yeah.
everything else. Ready to rock and roll.
Yeah,
Matter of
I'll
fact,
get you a couple more shots of that before we move on.
yeah.
Just a second.
But while we wait, folks, I'll come up with a good joke for you, and I can't promise it's gonna be good. What's the best way to carve wood? Whittle by whittle, right?
With what?
Whittle by whittle.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Okay.
go.
Say you want to, do a little karaoke and you need a screen and all that. So inside that area, there's a curtain, there's microphones, guitars, and then there's a TV. So you can look at the lyrics if you need to, if you're one of those people.
Yeah, no, most definitely, and I love you let your kids do the decorations in the walls, and
Yeah.
they're not kids, they're adults, but they're rock and rollers, and they have totally taken and decorated the walls and stuff, and it's cool,
Oh, yeah.
Take it
Well,
right.
various bands. When bands would come to town, they would do that.
Sign their names on it and stuff.
Yeah. And then I got one shot here. If people come over and want to do something in the studio and say they want to, do a skit or introduce something, I got this. I call this the Time and Space Cafe. And so it's just a little area. You sit there and do your thing.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, it's got the Twilight Zone feel to it too. I wanted to say too, this is
Well, you do it black and white right there. That'd be great.
yeah. Well, and we have a green screen available there too, so we can put anything behind you that you want. But the furniture there, the booth basically is from a local ice cream parlor that is no longer in business, but they were in the Merc. So
they got the old 50s chairs right there.
yeah.
I like those the round ones. Those are great.
Yeah, and then having the booth itself. So
Yeah, and the booth. Yeah,
yeah.
that's fantastic.
Every Saturday, my brother and I order food out, bring it in, and eat at the cafe. So it's kind of nice.
That's good. Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah. So maybe that's the thing to do. If you can't go out to restaurants, get the food and set up a restaurant setting at your house.
Yeah. Hey, that's not a bad idea, Brian. That's actually pretty cool. That's I would say that's good. I didn't think of it that way to me.
Yeah.
And now that you show me that way, I think that's fantastic.
Well, before the pandemic, I was considered a little weird, a little crazy. Now my ideas are kind of working because other people are doing that. They're trying to make their home like the world.
Outside. And
Yeah.
you're outside. Yeah, and that's why I've been trying to work on my outside of my house, actually,
Yeah.
So it's more attractive and, more stuff to do outside. We can,
Well, the
have
small,
some serious
the
fun.
small statues you have, I won't give too much away because you might want to do a slideshow, but the small statues when you come in are like valets from the old days, a woman and a man, and they welcome you. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
Well, I try to put, well, currently right now it's my sanitation station, I call it. And when you walk in, I've got a man and a woman offering you
Yeah.
a mask and hand sanitizer. So
Yeah,
I
and
mean,
they're dressed like people that would be
in the
at a
20s.
fancy party in the 20s and like they were
Yeah.
valets almost.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a few more statues around here and I may do more because I actually, if anybody knows who the muses are, dang it, my hat straight. If anybody knows who the muses are, which is basically I'm referring to Greek mythology and the
Yeah.
muses. So I've got a few of those out in my yard, and I love the old the Roman statues. They're
Oh
great.
yeah.
They are awesome. I just my
I
mother
just
got me.
realized something. I hate to interrupt.
what?
I got to plug this thing in this computer. I brought it outside. It's not plugged in, so we would lose the whole show. So tell them a little bit while I take about 15 seconds.
Okay, well, I've always got my bad jokes online right there, ready to go. What did the teacher do with the student's report on cheese? She graded it. Okay, sorry, folks. That's what you get. I'm a nerd. What do you call a belt made of watches? Do you know? Think about it. A belt made of watches. It's a waste of time, obviously. I am such a nerd. I apologize, but it's what you get. Why did Adele cross the road? To say hello from the other side. That's just dumb. But whatever. I'm not an Adele fan, so I am. I'm not an Adele fan. Heck, she's done amazing for herself. Why would you never eat a clock?
Something to do with time.
It's no, you actually you don't because it's too time consuming.
Oh, okay.
I gotta get these to my cousin Mike, man. These are gonna.
Oh, I got one that was it's a kid's joke. It's what kind of animal plays movies on your TV and also eats ants? A VC aardvark. That's good.
Hard work. That's good. Something. I'm just kidding. No.
I told that joke in a show with my son Keenan when he was 8 months old. I put him in a show with me when he's 8 months old, and he was listening and laughing and hitting things. And
Yeah, these are just too good. I've got to give you another one, which is what grades did the pirate get on his report card?
ours.
That's you. I would have thought the same thing. I looked into that and it says the 7 C's. He got
Okay.
7 C's. That made sense to me.
Yeah, that was some of the quarters in high school for me. 7 C's. I would get a 2 point.
Hey, you know what? In high school, C's would have been good for me, man. I'll tell you what. The problem I had in school, in grade school, middle school, all this stuff until I got to high school was my teachers every year would say, Lonnie, you passed the tests, but you don't do any homework. And how is that? They'd say, I'm like, I don't know. They said, you're smart enough. You can do all this stuff, but you just don't do the homework. And so
Yeah.
they said it's gonna catch up with you, right? I'm like, yeah, I'm just waiting for that day, And all of a sudden it came one day and they said, hey, dude, you're not gonna graduate with your friends. And I said,
Wow.
what? I said, what? I said, you're not gonna be able to graduate with your friends. So my senior year, I had to redo my freshman, sophomore, and junior year and
Wow.
go to college all of my senior year. I did it all. I was like,
Wow.
I decided because I was too proud not to, but that's okay. You gotta have something in your life that makes you so you have to stand up and be accountable.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. I think if you or I went back to school, though, I think homework would be something we wanted to do because
Yeah,
now you like to
kind of.
research.
I mean, you like to actually research and stuff. And I kind of do too. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah, now
I
you
enjoy-
would actually contact people you knew that knew more than you and get information, and you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
Back
Well, I
then
learned.
back then you wanted to have that time after school to have fun, is what I at least I
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah, when you have time to actually, when you have time to learn, and when you make time to learn, you actually you get it and you do learn a little more. I mean, I didn't get when I got into college. Oops, when I got into college, my mom had purchased a VCR tape, VHS, which was Where There's a Will, There's an A.
Oh
Right?
yeah, I know about that. That's
It was a
good.
great one. It was, oh man, that was so good. It was costly, but shit, the first quarter, A's, A's, A's. And
Yeah.
it was just kind of the way that I was learning and the way that I want to do homework. I don't know. I
Yeah.
did good. I did good. I did great in college, actually, until I had my little accident, which was a massive head injury, which caused brain surgery, and I was a vegetable for a month, turned in from a potato to a tomato. It was really cool. I ripened in about a month and a half, and here I am now. So
Yeah.
No.
Well, I had a teacher in high school. It was a creative writing class, and I was a senior. I went in there, and I thought another class will be fun. She said, "This is a college prep course. What college are you going to?" And I had never thought about it, so I said, "Well, I'll go community college first, and then I might go to WSU or Central or one of those."
yeah,
And that changed my whole course and my whole path. Ended up getting a college degree, and I think large part to that lady acting like I was college material. I had never thought it.
yeah. And for me in college, when I had to move out of high school, I moved to Seattle. Well, I moved to
Oh,
Federal
wow.
Way, I guess, for a while, and I went to Highline Community College at first. And when I did that for the first year, when I did that, I think I was in class. I had no friends there, so
Yeah.
that's the big thing. I had no friends. I worked my butt off from Monday through Friday and the weekends, whatever. But I made time for it, for the education, and I highly learned. I highly love learning. That's my, it's funny, as we're older now, we watch the History Channel. I mean, watch all these things, trying to learn to watch things. It's like that show that I sent you a while back, or the K-19 or whatever, K 2019.
Yeah.
Yeah, K.
Yeah, it had a
two,
wild
whatever.
theory about the pyramids. It actually made more sense.
Yeah, it talks about
Yeah.
the Masons, and it talks about all these historical conspiracies and stuff. They actually wraps them all up in a nice little bow that makes way more sense to me. Tells you how the pyramids were made. I mean, literally, it makes sense. You don't go, oh, they carried bricks, tons of pounds, tons of bricks, 8 miles,
Yeah.
hand by hand by the slaves, and how many slaves would have died in that thing?
Yeah. In reality, at least in this story, it was more respected laborers in a
Yep.
line, and it
Yep.
would be teamwork. You hand the water, you hand the base and all. It was amazing, and it made sense. Now there's people arguing about it, and there's scientists that don't want to give up the old theory and biblical people, but it made some sense.
Well, even biblical people, to me, it makes more sense, because it says where the actual human came from, and
Yeah.
how the different races and where they were, and why years and years later we treat some of the races differently.
Yeah. Well,
That's sad as hell when they tell you certain things, and they open your eyes to it and say, the people who've done the best are not being treated the best.
well, and the thing I enjoyed watching, he was talking about how slaves were never buried in the temples or in the pyramids or any of that. They found some in there, and so they feel they may have been skilled laborers.
Yeah.
So it's interesting.
Yeah, they trapped them inside when they were just
Well,
did
that's a
something bad.
possibility, but I'm hoping that they had some respect for him and said, "You're not a slave. You're a skilled laborer." But we don't know for sure. But that was interesting.
Well, I won't dwell on that one, but if you want to watch a good show, guys, educational little thing, the
Yeah,
K
K
2000,
2019.
K 2019, the Great Pyramids, and it'll kind of blow your mind and educate you. It's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I
so
mean,
give a lot of respect to concrete workers. Next time you meet a guy with the rough
100%.
hands, they have the rough hands.
Yep.
They're heroes.
Yeah. Well, that's why, the Mason's been around for years and years and years, and people give them so much scuff or guff because they're having kind of hidden type of his history on everything, and it explains that history on them, and how they had to hide, and they went around the world actually building things. It's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's
But,
worth watching.
It's definitely worth watching.
And
I actually
something
said
else
that.
worth watching, and a totally different thing, and then we can go back to the questions.
Sure.
Is, I've probably said this before, but look up the Mickey Ward versus Arturo Gatti trilogy. 3 guys that were linked with each other, and they end up fighting 3 times. And Mark Wahlberg played Mickey Ward. It's just an incredible story of these 2 men that became like brothers from fighting each other.
From fighting each other.
Yeah, they fought each other 3 times. They were incredible fights where like one time a guy had a broken hand, another time the guy broke an eardrum, but they became the closest of friends and basically brothers after 3 fights.
Well, I'll say I fought a guy 3 times in one day. I did in middle school, and he was 3 years older than I was, but I didn't know that at the time. Yeah, so it was pretty brutal. But each time, one time I had a bloody nose, and and then parents came and broke us up, whatever, and then we went and did it again. And then he had a black eye, and he had to go get cared for. And later on, the 3rd time, we ended up at a park, and I don't know how this stuff happened. It was just a neighborhood thing, He was he was a new kid, but he was 3 years older, and a friend of mine who is passed on right now. So I will gratefully say his name. The late great Brandon Jensen. He was a tough son of a gun. But Brandon and I would go through the neighborhood and go up and down through the area, and just he'd go, "You fight this." Brandon was a couple years older than I was, so he'd say, "You fight that guy," and I'd say, "Okay, you fight that guy." And next thing I know, we just loved wrestling and boxing and all that stuff, So it was kind of a fun thing to do, and we weren't like trying to hurt anybody, You're just kids. You just try to. It's that pecking order. You want to make sure that you're the dominant one.
Well, I knew him a little bit through you when he got older, and the thing that impressed me is he saw somebody bugging me at a bar, and he walked up and asked me if I needed any help. So, basically, is this guy bothering you? I said, no, it's fine. But it was cool. And just by knowing you, that I was your friend, he made sure.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, because Brandon was the guy that you shake his hand and he'd just shake your hand, and you wouldn't mess. I mean, you would.
Well, you could
stop.
just look. You could look at him.
You could look at him, and he had the softest grip of any. And you go shake your hand, he'd be so soft because he was so strong.
Yeah.
So freaking strong. He was a powerhouse, man. I mean,
oh yeah.
I'll show a picture.
Really good guy. He was a good guy. That's why I like.
He was a super sweetheart. Yeah, super good guy. But as a kid, I mean, he was a Golden Glove boxer as a child, and we were over there, City Boxing, which is Kelso Boxing at the time. He went on and did some amazing stuff with that. Yeah. But I got out of that, and then in wrestling, he decided to take it all the way once again, where I'm a few years behind him. So I didn't go quite as far as he did. He made it national in college and everything,
He won state at RA Long, and
3 times.
I think if he was young right now, if he was say 22, I think he would be in the UFC because he had such.
No, he would.
Skills.
He would for certain. I was trying to get him to do it actually, but he was too busy. I talked to him about it, but he was too busy at bodybuilding. He got into bodybuilding, and one of the things about that, and he's passed on, so I don't mind talking about it. But he's really huge, and during his bodybuilding years, he was like, "I have to start doing steroids," and I said, "Dude, you don't have to start doing steroids." And this is when I got educated on steroids a little more. I mean, I had friends who did steroids and stuff, you know. Actually, I had a lot of friends who did steroids. It was a little bit throughout the years, um, but he says I have to gain. I mean, because he'd already done like a couple bodybuild competitions and won just hands down solid. He was a big dude, but I mean, he's not much taller than I am really, but
Yeah.
maybe an inch and a half. I think he got a little taller with some HGH actually.
Yeah.
But no, but the steroids, I was like, you don't have to do steroids. And he's like, dude, they want me to gain 60 more pounds. I mean, his body was shredded. I mean, there was no doubt about it. His body was shredded, and he was just a muscle bound dude. And the toughest mother son of a gun that I've ever met. I mean, I have friends that are very, very tough. Even Mr. Mike, who you know is a damn big dude, right? Well, that's the one person that Mike would have said, nah, no.
Yeah.
Mike said that. He goes, the one person I wouldn't want to fight would be Brandon, because even if he was hurt, he wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just-
exactly. And with
and he
that
was
much,
talented.
with that much physical strength and then mental toughness, and then he boxed and wrestled,
Mhm.
he would have been a shoe-in for UFC. I mean,
Yeah, he would have been a shoo-in, but alas, he passed away, unfortunately.
yeah. Last
think
time I
those-
saw him, he put in new carpet at the place where I worked, and so I got to BS with him a little bit.
Yeah, so Brandon in general, he had his own business doing flooring.
Yeah.
So he'd walk in with the whole carpet roll by
Oh, yeah.
himself. You know, it wasn't like, I mean, it could be I don't know how long it'd be, how heavy it is, but he'd be carrying it by himself. You know, I was like,
Yeah.
he'd lay tile, he'd do all kinds of stuff. Yeah,
we
good
could
guy.
sure use them today. I won't tell too much, but we're moving to some giant couches.
Yeah, oh,
I
yeah,
would- we would
he'd be,
love that.
he'd be a shoo-in for that. Yeah, that's like something simple. You don't want to ask for anything from somebody like that, but yeah, I would definitely do that.
Just
He was
for
definitely-
he could do it himself, and we could
Oh
just
yeah, he
eat
just
coffee.
Well,
and-
well, my buddy Mike, by the way. So I have a buddy named Mike who is 6'4.5", I think, both directions at one time he was, shoulder to shoulder and head to toe. That dude has monkey strength, and it's really, and that's a gorilla strength. I have seen Mike literally pick up a couch on his shoulder by himself and move it into my house. I'm like, but he has the size and the strength. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, he's like, you know, I'd say that he's got that whatever gene it is that it makes you monkey strength, but
Yeah.
it's insane. And
Well, he's the guy you take with you to go get the keg to bring back to the party so he can carry it in.
oh, he would definitely do that.
Yeah.
That would be a thing for him. Yeah, no, and right now, sadly, he is sitting at home having what's the coronavirus,
Wow.
the COVID virus. Yeah, because he's the one that gave it to me. But well, if I had it last week, it would have been the guy he'd been the guy that gave it to me, because I got a punching bag and some stuff from him, and I was so happy to see him because it's been 7 months or so since I saw him. You know,
We're not
And-
going to say his name, though. We'll call him Mike Ledbetter. That's a good one. Mike Ledbetter.
Mike Bedwetter, huh?
No. Could you imagine if your name was Ledbetter? That's a good point. They'd call you Bedwetter right away.
100%,
Wow.
100%. I was the king of changing names for people, and
Yeah.
that wasn't good, you know. So
Well,
and
there
I-
was an
I
SNL
apologize
skit
for
with
that.
Jason Priestley playing a guy named Johnny Hildo, and everybody called him Johnny Dildo. He ended
Oh,
up
of course,
in prison.
of course. That'd be the number one thing, you know. It's
Yeah.
like when you go to have a child. Well, I'm not sure how you came up with your kids' names, but let's talk about that for a minute, actually. So
Yeah.
children's names. Every time, oh, not every time. I only have 2 kids out there, I think. If I have more kids, please let me know in the words down below. You know, give us a little note and tell us that I have more kids below somewhere. And I'd like to meet you, say hi at least, you know. Won't put you in the will, but I love you. I'm just kidding. But I always thought when we had our kids, we really took the names. We had like a book of like 500. We had a book of 2,000. We had a book of 10,000. We had a book of all 25,000 names. I kid you not. It kept going up and up and up. But how we derive by the words for, or the names for our children were unique. How did you come up with Carson and Keenan?
Well, Keenan was because of Keenan Ivory Wayans, who just years before had changed the whole landscape of skits and television and all that within Living Color.
Mhm.
But I spelled it different. He spelled it with an E, so I spelled it the normal way, Kenan. And then Carson was named after Johnny Carson. And
Johnny Carson.
yeah, and so my dream was that Carson would be a talk show host, and everybody said, but he's shy and won't talk. And I said, well, he's young. So I
Now-
still think it could happen.
Now, when he was being born, did you say, "Here's Johnny"?
No,
Oh man,
that would have
I
been
would
good.
love that. Teresa would have beat the heck out of you, I'm sure, but that would have been
Oh, yeah.
awesome. Just
I
as a
told, I
kind of-
told the doctor about it. He thought that was good. He liked it.
yeah.
Now,
that's
how'd
great.
you
Yeah.
come up with your two names for your kids?
Well, Mary, my daughter, well, I'll do Chandler first. Chandler, my son, we debated between Chandler. We went through all these names, and we decided we came up with Chandler from the Friends show, really, because at the time nobody had that name,
Yeah.
Brent and Chandler. And then he was our favorite character, funniest and most wittiest guy was Chandler Bing off of Friends. And then his middle name was Drake. Drake meaning Drake meaning dragon. Old
okay.
English name for dragon. So we knew it was going to be those two names from because it was the year of the dragon that he was born, and Y2K, year of the dragon. And so we were like Chandler Drake, and we were walking literally on New Year's Eve. The hospital wouldn't help us because she hadn't started to. Her body has not. I mean, she was in delivery, but her body wasn't opening up. So they made us leave and go for a walk. And when we went for a walk, we went through a Thomas Kincaid gallery.
Wow.
Thomas Kincaid, if you know who he is,
Oh, yeah. The painter of light.
the painter of light, exactly. He's beautiful stuff. And so we came across a painting of his, which was, I think it was Home for the Holidays. I'm not sure, but I swore someday I'd buy that painting, and I may someday if somebody knows that. If you have a painting of that somewhere, you want to send it to me, I'm more than happy to take it. But anyways, we were walking through that Thomas Kincaid gallery, trying to get her body going, and we came across these pictures, and this picture was so cool. My wife Amy, she says, "Oh, this is just the best picture," and I agreed with her. And then what you do is you take that light switch. They had these lights. You turn the lights off or down, and all of a sudden, other lights appear with his pictures. And all of a sudden, when we did that, we were talking about this Chandler or Drake.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, when we turned the lights down, the name Chandler popped up in the middle of the picture. It was on his mailbox. It was hidden words that he would put in these pictures. And come to find out, apparently his daughter's name is Chandler. And so that's where that Chandler, I didn't know that Chandler was it could go either way with a boy or a girl name, but apparently it can.
Yeah.
So, but
Well,
we were, as we were talking about,
he used to get a like an 8x8 piece, a sheet, and he would wipe off his brush, and that's what this is. These are actual Thomas Kincaid cleaning off his brush.
that's fantastic. Yeah. And you know what? Does it have any glow in the dark picture paints on there? I wonder.
It
He may
does
have-
some effects
he
if
may
you hit
have
the
left.
line. I'm
Oh,
still,
very
it's still
cool.
a work in progress. I mean,
Well, and so Mary in particular, I'll tell you, we had a name picked out for her because we thought it was going to be a boy. So the boy's name for her was from Amy's favorite book and my favorite book and story, and then it's the best play as well. But that's To Kill a Mockingbird.
oh,
So Atticus was her name, and then when she turned into a girl, she got my mother, who was killed a few years prior. We decided to go with her name, which was
yeah.
Mary.
I'm glad you did that. I think it's a good, it honors your mother.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, my mom was great, and now her name at least can live on, and
Yeah.
it's funny because I think that Mary has a lot of her personality and intelligence, so that's a good thing,
Well, as a painter, I'm definitely no artist, but this was done with finger painting, so that's very basic. That's as basic as you can get.
Well, actually, my last house I had, the ceiling in one of the garage and some of the room there was all done figure painting,
Yeah,
not for paint, but it was kind of like a mud, you know? It
yeah,
just swirls around. You just gotta take that mud, I guess it would be, or not mud, but like a plaster of Paris or
yeah,
whatever it was, and you do the whole, you just do your walls with that, your ceilings with that.
yeah.
Pretty cool. It did not look bad at all, you know?
No,
It was way, 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 way better than my popcorn ceiling that was on there for before
Yeah.
prior to that. Now I'll tell you what, popcorn ceiling, if you're taking it down and it looks crap when you take it down, do that plaster Paris thing and make a little
That's a good
pattern on
idea.
things. It's all by hand. It just sticks out and it won't. It's just, it looks good.
yeah.
You know.
Well, I had somebody say, "Oh, I can see the brush strokes," and I said, "Well, I did use a brush, so."
I can see the brush strokes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's kind of fun. It's like a work in progress, and probably next week it'll be slightly different. So, well, it's like you change your set today. Your background's different. You got the
Well, you
fireplace.
know, I'm a work in progress myself, and you know that I am going to be changing some stuff around here. I was trying to pull
The
this off
aforementioned
with my old-
couch.
my
The
old fire-
aforementioned couch. Remember we were talking about the
Yeah.
couch.
So I figured I'd be in front of the fireplace today and warm up a little bit too. So
Yeah.
if I can get my picture back here, I don't know. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun. But yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm in front of my fireplace, and I think that hopefully in the next week, I say week, I have to bring this truck back a little bit here, but
Oh yeah.
in the next week, I will have a whole new room in the house. It'll
Good.
be cool. It'll be totally freaking different than I was used to, because I'm not a boring guy, but you know, I don't think so.
One thing
yeah.
I like about the modern day, the videos and all that, people just turn their houses into a studio. They don't go build a studio.
Right.
They just, take what they got.
Well, I'll tell you, this house here is definitely big enough to put some studios in any room. I've got
Oh yeah.
the space for it right now.
So did you have any questions? Because we're 51 minutes in. We might be an hour in for all I know. We started
Well,
early. We actually started early.
Yeah, well, yeah, we did start early actually, so I don't care. But here's my question for you, Brian. What did the zebra say the first time he saw a piano?
Ooh. I no idea.
Dad?
That was good. Oh, hey, did you know football season's coming for the high schools? It's going to be played in the spring. So we got football coming up.
Maybe, hopefully. I hope
Could
so.
happen. They're practicing right now.
Yeah. Why do chicken coops have two doors, Brian?
Mm. One for the hens, one for the roosters? Or?
Well, no, because if they had four doors, they'd be chicken sedans.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I don't know where the stupid jokes people come up with the worst jokes, I tell you.
Yeah, but that would be your cousin Mike. He's got to get that one going.
Well, you know, and next time I see Mike, I'll tell him that I don't trust stairs because they're always up to something. It's bad, folks. It's bad.
Well, I
But
told
you
him
know what?
the first joke I ever heard. I told him that it was. Did you hear about the elephant with diarrhea? It's all over town. He liked that one.
Yeah.
He said he's stealing that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. Actually, I remember that one. Yeah, because he told me that one. That's funny.
Oh yeah.
That's hilarious. But why couldn't the bicycle stand on its own?
No,
It was too tired. Yeah, you know, these little dad jokes. I'm sorry, I'm a dad, and they come to me, and I've got a U-Haul calling me at the moment. By the way, asking for my truck apparently. So I'm going to.
You want to pound it out and?
Let's pound it out. Ready?
All right, let's do it Friday. Oh, you got me.
I did.
All right. I see you. We'll see you guys next time. A good job. I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you, sir.